There were several simple but significant steps which brought us to the point of developing the report, which was representative of the people and the organizations that participated. Our first step, as identified by my colleague Tanya, was to take them out raw to each site and have them just take pictures of what concerned them.
The pictures were really, this was through the eyes of the young people that took the pictures, and we were amazed. We had about 500 pictures that we had to go through. And once we looked at, we saw the pattern, we saw what they were looking at, we brought them back and had them provide solutions after the SEPTA training.
And so going through all 6 sites, all the photos from all 6 sites provided us the opportunity to collect a second round of input that was extremely insightful and complete in terms of facilitating the community residents, namely the youth, going from problem identification to solution based on the principles of walkability and crime prevention through environmental design. And so with those 2 rounds of input and the photos taken, we were able to go site by site in identifying recommendations, not only for the site, but also the surrounding environment. We finally had that environmental focused discussion around the sites that we focused on. And that led to the development of the presentation and the Chula Vista Preventing Violence, Healthy Eating, Active Living report.
They came out with a great critical analysis of some of the issues in the areas that they were looking into, and better still, came up with some possible ways of helping to resolve the issues. And since that time, Dana and his crew have been working really steadfastly on all those sorts of issues, even to this day, and it's been a huge benefit for these areas. There's through beautification measures, through recommendations to city staff about things that we could do as a city physically to make lasting changes in some of our problem areas. It's been a great impact.
So much happened from the sharing, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that, our organization and the other supportive organizations were really there as facilitators, and we allowed the community voice to shine. The youth did a majority of the presentations with me. And if they didn't do the presentations with me, they were there present to add to the dialogue about the solutions that should occur, what they experience and what they have seen as residents in Chula Vista that have, since they were born, frequented these parks, walked around St. Regis Apartments, traveled to San Diego State University by trolley.
They took a very key leadership role as far as like the actual assessments of the trolley stations, the parks. And so it was really good to work with them and to see them, because they were able to bring that youth voice that we know as a county that we don't have. So being able to hear them to talk about, okay, this is what we see as a threat, this is what we see as an asset for this park, or this is what we see as needed for this park. It was exciting. I was happy to be a part. I mean, we were in the background, but it was good to see them really take leadership and say, this is what I want for my communities.
If you involve youth from the beginning, even the assessment, looking at what's happening in the community, they begin to take ownership. There's a sense of awareness that takes place. And then the solutions come from them.
The youth, I think, has a really interesting perspective, and I think that has a lot of power in the community. And I don't think a lot of kids and youth in general know that they have a voice. And so with the assessment, we kind of were learning, how to use our voice and where we can put it so that it's heard and where it can make a difference.
I have learned the importance of working with the community, working together, how we can't really do a change when it's only one person, but when there's a lot of people getting together with one common cause, like, we can actually make a change.
I think it was their impact, their involvement, the way that they owned and spoke to the issues at each of our opportunities to share, which really made the difference and caused departments and MTS and Chula Vista Police Department and redevelopment to really loop back with like, okay, this is real. Thank you so much for your input, and we're gonna show you what changed.
One of the things that we've been very much focused on is our own redevelopment of our South Bay stations as part of an overall improvement project for our trolley system. And so we're redesigning our platforms to be more open, to really make it a better waiting environment, and to really upgrade the experience for those who want to use transit. And I think that the efforts that CHIP pointed out in their report, what they were seeing was that they do want to improve the areas even around the stations. In the transit world, we always look at the walk to a transit service as very important, whether it's the walk or the bike or the commute by vehicle. That says a lot as to whether or not that's going to be a useful service for the very communities that are surrounding that station.
This park is being visited by the residents, and before it used to be lots of homeless people, and right now you could see that the basketball court is always so busy during the afternoon, all through the day. It's a great example of what could be done in Chula Vista if the community wanted to do something. Something is possible.
I think the results of it were more empowering than we expected because, first we were just filling out these papers like, oh, what do we see? What don't we like? And then when we see the pictures, when we see everything put together, when we're presenting it in front of adults who are just in awe by the results, it's really, really empowering. And it gives us, I realized, we have a lot more to do here than we thought. And we are going to take this project a lot further than we thought was just these papers and, putting a slideshow together. It's definitely a bigger project than I think we all really expected. But I hope it drives even further.
Working with PV Heal for us as a police agency is part of our mission and our vision for law enforcement in terms of engaging the community. And PV Heal is perhaps maybe one of the conduits with which we can continue to engage the community or further engage the community.
At the end of the day, when your project is over, it's the empowerment of the community that sustains. And so when we had this critical opportunity to involve young people and college students in implementing our assessment, developing a report, speaking to the issues in that community, that's what made me feel alive. The youth and community adults that participated were extremely insightful and very much into what we had to share with them to really kind of build the capacity of their leadership and their perspective to see how the environment influences or undermines public health and safety. And so to me, that's the most important element of the project, to have that authentic community participation that lives on.
Yeah, it doesn't rip, but we can patch it, and look how beautiful that ends up. Okay, we store that. All of a sudden we have, go ahead and put it up. We have created a very beautiful pattern in a very fast way and direct. Want to make some? You know how to make them now. That's all we're going to do. And what we're going to do is make them, save them, get them ready, and then when we go out there, we're going to look like professionals. And I tell you, there's a lot of boxes out there, but nobody's going to make them like you guys are going to make them. They're going to look absolutely special, and they'll look cool.